everybody, and welcome to Midnight's Edge After Dark. We're live. I forgot to share out the link to let everybody know we were live and all that business. But welcome. Look at our festive surroundings, courtesy of Six. Thank you for decorating.
Yes. I'm very excited. I picked out the background image, and I'm curious if anyone can figure out why I picked this one.
Because there's balls?
Exactly.
It's that simple, really?
Yeah, I just Googled Christmas balls. And this was like one of the first images that popped up.
I was just being like kind of facetious, but all right.
I'm not very, I don't have a lot of depth in that area, so I'm pretty much surface
There's
level
plenty
when
of
it
blue
comes to
balls, as they note in the chat. Hopefully we won't give you blue balls. But yes, we have Six with us tonight. How are you doing in this festive evening?
I'm doing well. I'm having a little bit of allergy, so I'm a little sniffly. I think I'm allergic
seasonal.
to cats.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What? Because you're like a cat lover.
I
wasn't going to say a crazy cat lady in training, but
yeah, no, I love all animals. I just happen to have 2 cats who live in my house and 17 who live like in my garage.
I mean, that would be
If
like
if
the
puppies,
doctor's.
I'd be happier. I'm more of a dog person, but
that'd be like if the doctor told me I was allergic to pizza.
Oof. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'd be like I would cry and suffer, yes, but I would just still eat pizza.
I think I just got some cat hair in my eyes, and I need to.
That sucks.
Oh no.
Well, while you're working on that, I'm glad to hear that. We also have CC Karaoke coming in from the Great White North. How you doing?
My uncle had 15 cats at one point, but they were all feral, so they didn't really go in the house and
he just kept feeding them
eyes with. Well, no, they fed on the mice, which was kind of helpful,
Oh, I'm going through freaking $40 worth of kibble and canned food every week, and I can
so much to clean up all your mice.
Well, I haven't seen any.
Well, that's good. But yeah, welcome, CC. Yeah, I was gonna say, hopefully you're doing well.
Yeah, pretty much. Could use a bit more snow. Ski season's here, and it's still kind of rocky.
You can have ours.
That's pretty good.
Come to my backyard.
Yeah, right.
Right? Like, get it out of here. Truck it up to Canada.
I'll take it.
I wish that's what we could do, is recycle our snow in Canada. It's like, you want it? Take it. Also joining us on the road, but I think he's in sunny area, Mr. Clobberin Times. How you doing?
Hey there. I wish it was sunny, but gonna get to swim, but no, it's kind of there. But thanks for having me. Good to see you. I hope you can hear me okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to say where you were because I didn't know if that was a big deal or not. But yes, you're in a warm area, let's say. So you're probably the warmest of the bunch so far.
Comparatively speaking.
Comparatively speaking, indeed. So how are you doing besides being on the road?
Oh, pretty good, man. Just glad to see you guys. So I can't get away from the streams, no matter how much I pretend I would.
You are a true YouTuber.
You are a YouTuber.
Just like Mexican Iron Man.
Just like Mexican Iron Man. I was going to say that exactly.
I wish he was here, but we must truck on in his spirit, as we always do. Oh, we got Snowdub in the chat, and I see we got D-Bud in here swinging a wrench around, and Daryl Brewer as well. Did I make you a wrench yet on the channel, Daryl? Let me check here.
Daryl's a wrench. So.
I was gonna say, I think you were on. Okay, so I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure you were on Midnight's Edge After Dark already.
Yeah.
So yeah, welcome everybody. I see Andy in the chat. I can send you the link if you're not busy. Same thing with Snow. Why not? But we're going to talk a little bit about Doctor Who up front. Then we're going to get into some Disney news. We got one milestone here right off the bat. Troy Pacelli. How you doing, buddy? He's been here for 15 months. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah.
Hey.
Good friend of the channel. Thank you so much. Let me get these links out here. But while I'm doing that, Clobby and Price and CC didn't see it, but he had a few things. He saw clips and had a few things to say about it, mainly. But Six and I, we're not Whovians, right? The only Who's we know about are living in Whoville, and I don't even know how much Six knows about those.
Did you intro Price?
Oh shit! No, I didn't. Well, this is kind of the intro here of Price. Jesus, thanks for reminding me.
It's okay.
Because Price, I want you to actually start this off anyway, because you have been dealing with a bit of blowback because. I don't know if maybe it's because your audience is a little bit more low key, because you are a bit more laid back and you're not as salacious as me, let's say. I'm infamous. I've been called infamous many times. I know who my audience is. They like it when I'm spicy. So you're not as spicy as me usually. So this kind of took you off guard. Is that kind of my understanding of this?
I think so. I think that you're actually making a good point because this kind of feels like a deja vu. It feels like that time with the Ninja Turtles that
Right, right.
I'm not afraid to say whatever I really think. And maybe I say it in a way that's relaxed and I'm not sort of in everybody's face about it. But if I see something, then I say whatever I think that is. And sometimes you have people that are surprised by this. And I guess they're not expecting that from me. So they get really upset. So today I've had a few people, and one, I won't name the name, but somebody that was following me for a long time, watched every video, was always like, in contact. And suddenly person got really, really upset at my review for Doctor Who. And I don't think I said, I mean, all I said in the review, basically in a nutshell, is that it's a lot of propaganda and that they went overboard and I didn't like what they did. And I think I explained it in a very detailed way, but I don't think anything I said was mean spirited, and it was also the truth, really.
Yeah. So we'll get into the actual specifics of the episode, so you and Klobby can kind of discuss your reactions to it. But yeah, no, I understand kind of where you're coming from, because it's one thing to get somebody who's claiming like unsub and you've never even seen their name before or anything like that, because you get that all the time once in a while,
Right.
here and there. But like if a lot of the people in the chat we see who are our regulars now, if Jedi Bill, for instance, come to me and said, hey, look, I felt like, you're a little too harsh on this or that or the other, I would definitely converse with Bill and I would totally take into what he's saying into consideration, because I know he cares. He genuinely listens. So I can understand where this may have, bothered you a little bit, because you almost felt like you had a friendship or a kinship with this person of sorts. And then they just kind of totally flipped on you, it feels like.
Right. I mean, over the past, especially year, I've been building this channel. And along the way, when you meet people, especially in these stages, that are supporting what you do and they're really nice to you, you don't want to disappoint people. So it's not a good feeling for me. But at the same time, I also, and that's what I was kind of asking you earlier, just kind of getting your advice on it. It's that I have to also say whatever is true, whatever I feel is true, whatever my integrity tells me to say. So I guess it's a strange balance, and maybe I'm not as used to it as I should be.
Well, sometimes you just kind of got to know that friends are going to be like that, and that's just the way the world works now. It's this woke business. But go ahead, Cece, you're about to say something.
No, I was just gonna say my take on that is you have to be you. You have to be honest, because not only that the audience responds to that, but you are building a community. And if you build it dishonestly, you're going to have something that's in dissonance with what you believe and feel, and it's going to make you unhappy. It's
my main takeaway, and maybe this is like what Tom usually says. It's like we were segueing into the episode. I think that my takeaway, if it caused such discourse and a person to get so upset, I think it's only a sign that this episode wasn't that type of uniting, fun escapism that everybody needed. It ended up being something that some people are very offended and other people are very annoyed. And I don't think a 60th anniversary special of a franchise that was pretty much dying anyways, I don't think that that's the creative direction they should go in.
Agreed.
Well, that's the nice thing about the fact I don't have my own channel. So all I do is go on other people's channels. So I can say whatever the hell I want. And if I burn down somebody's channel, sorry.
Well, that's a good strategy.
Well, I mean, so basically, let's get past that a little bit, because like I said, I know it sucks. Because I've had, all of us probably in this community have had, friends or family that have kind of turned on them because of one thing or another that they felt or said, especially when it comes to something like as trivial as a movie or a TV show. It really, really makes you go wonder, like, was our friendship really that strong in their eyes that this is something that's worth coming between us? Like, because like even Six and I don't, we argue almost on a daily basis about shit.
Well, someone stopped talking to me over Sound of Freedom.
Oh my God,
wow.
Seriously?
Spoken to me since. Yeah. No,
I didn't hear what Six said though,
right?
but
I just said definitely.
Oh yeah. We're always. I wouldn't say fight. We squabble about
Like
things.
brother and sister, seriously.
Kind of like or just disagreements on like what we feel about a certain movie or TV show or actor or actress or what have you, or opinion on some topic, but we don't let that come between us because that's what friends are about, right? We're not always going to agree on shit. I
We're good
also
enough
want my
friends to like fight about stuff.
well, not just
Yeah.
that. I also want my friends to be honest with me, right? Like I want, like Klobby to come up and tell me something if I'm being an asshole, right? Or, something like that. Like you want people to be honest with you. And I want honesty out of people. And I don't know why this has become such a big thing. And I noticed this with when I posted my Mystery Science Theater 3000 take real quick. It was a throwaway fucking tweet. Throwaway tweet. And it caused a big, huge disturbance in the force. I tell you what, but it's at the same time, it just makes you wonder, like, why are people so fucking fired up about this? And this is kind of what I'm noticing with the Doctor Who thing is there was a bunch of people who kind of came to the defense of the female Doctor Who that we had before here recently.
Right.
But this is like almost like a different kind of level. And I see what you're saying, Price, where it's kind of it feels like there's more to this one. And maybe you guys know why, and that'll take us into the review. But before we go into that, we got Nick Weiser joining us. How you doing, Nick?
Yo, Nick.
Hey.
Sup, dude?
Hey, buddy.
Hey. Well, we're about to let the gentleman here. I don't think you saw it, but if you did, you can feel free to chime in too. But about the Doctor Who special. So yeah, I'm curious to hear what.
Doctor Who ever. So I'm here for the Disney talk and just Are
you on your phone like Klobby is, or are you on the wrong mic?
On. Should be. Let me check right now.
I think you're on the wrong mic then, because you're coming through like really wonky.
Because it shows I'm on my That's weird. Okay, give me a sec.
Sounds like you're under a blanket or something. Yeah.
Like at the supermarket when they tell the person to go to aisle 7.
Let me figure this out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll check back with you, Nick. Okay. So, Price, Cap, CC, take it away. What is this whole special about?
Well, the first of all, I think that a lot of people, and this has nothing to even do with there are maybe some people that like the female Doctor, but based on the ratings, there weren't many of them, and the franchise kind of lost its way. It was 1 second before just being dead, and they brought back David Tennant, and they brought back Russell T Davies, who in 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, they had great years. Those were the best years of the revival of Doctor Who, and it seemed like they were honoring fans for the 60th anniversary, that they wanted them to come back. Now, I think that the reason why a lot of people are upset now is because, you know how with Star Wars, it's kind of, I don't know if to say like an abused whatever, that you keep getting hurt by them, but you still have hope that maybe something good will happen. Like with the sequel trilogy, people were still hoping with The Mandalorian. I think that people were hoping that this special will kind of be a course correction. And some people are just blinded, and the fact that they see the Doctor that they like and all of that, then they'll just say that it's good. And other people like me, I think that this was very, very heavy-handed on propaganda, propaganda of the likes that I don't think I've ever seen anywhere, personally.
Donna was my favorite modern Doctor Who companion, and I was thrilled to see her back, but my gathering on the situation is, it's another situation where the story's undermined. You had a great ending to that arc,
right?
And it's been done in other franchises like Star Wars and Luke, throwing the lightsaber over the back of his shoulder.
Exactly.
You didn't need to undo that.
A lot of these revivals have no ideas, so they go back and undo the things that made them great to begin with. And you're absolutely right. She had a great storyline, and as much as it's nice to see the actress come back, it's unnecessary. It doesn't add to the storyline. If anything, it made it look stupid now. It undid it.
Yeah.
Klobby, what did you think about the episode?
Well, you hear me okay there, guys? Because if not, just let me know. I have been.
You're clear,
Doctor. Oh, thank you. I've been a Doctor fan for over 41 years now, and I was never the biggest RTD fan. I liked the revival from 2005 up to about 2000. I don't know, through 13, but with many, drawbacks to it, personally, with some caveats. But I did like a lot of it, and I love David Tennant, of course, and I love Donna. Like CC, you were talking about, she's one of my favorite of the new companions. I do favor the original 26 season classic run the most, but I do like a lot of the new Who up until a certain point, the 50th anniversary, basically. So I've pretty much hated what's been going on for a long time, starting with the Capaldi era, but at least he was a great actor. I just didn't think that the writing was that good, but totally ruined by Chris Chibnall, although Stephen Moffat kind of started that trend, but Chibnall destroyed the series. And so I had zero faith that RTD, who was always an activist, Russell T Davies, unchecked with full power, knowing the things he's talked about over the years after he left the show, I had no faith that he was going to return us back to where we wanted to be. But still, because David Tennant is in there and it pulls at your heartstrings a little bit as a Doctor Who fan, I decided I'll watch it and I'll see, and I'll see. But I absolutely agree with you, Price. It is completely filled with. It's one of the preachiest, and hey, that's saying something today, by the way. It, like you said, you've never seen propaganda to that level. I don't know if it is number one in that category, but it doesn't have a lot of competitors.
It's a contender. It's a contender. This is the Last Jedi level of propaganda, and maybe there they destroyed the character more of Luke, but bringing out I don't want to say things that'll cause the stream any problems, but there's a person there who's as I say in my video, she's more than meets the eye, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny you mention that. The whole tone automatically, in fact, in the Children in Need special, we won't go into what he did to Davros, but it opened the first things out of the quote-unquote 14th Doctor, who looks a lot like the 10th and 11th Doctor, because actually Tennant was two Doctors. He regenerated into himself once, so he was really 10 and 11. But anyway, the 14th, the first thing out of his face was, "What happened? I was a brilliant woman." In other words, he didn't even. He automatically started with saying how great the previous female Doctor was. When everyone knows, if you watch Doctor Who for any length of time, usually when he regenerates, he always makes fun of the previous persona,
right?
And he always, even though it's himself with a different body, he always rags on himself or makes it kind of a crack or a joke. But no, not this time.
For people who are less experts on Doctor Who, just to explain here, this female Doctor, which never really scored with the fans or viewers or anybody, there was a feeling, and there was very much propaganda during her era, there was a feeling that maybe he comes back and they kind of almost ignore that era. They don't talk about it, they push it aside, and maybe stop with all these kind of identity politics. Instead, it's the opposite. It came back with a vengeance. It's like double down, triple down. They're absolutely on board that she was there. The women of the show tell him that because she was a woman, she was better than him. And then
too bad you're not a woman anymore.
Too bad. There's a sentence they said, "Too bad you're not a woman anymore, or you would have known how to do this."
And now you know nothing.
And they say, "You present yourself as a male." What do they say? You're a male
presenting Time Lord.
Yes, which is like, I mean,
what the fuck?
Yes, male presenting.
You're a male presenting Doctor.
Wow.
There's a part where he talks to somebody, and this more than meets the eye girl. Sorry, I don't know how else to say it. She tells him, "You're not using the correct pronouns. You don't know this creature's pronouns." So then he apologizes to her, and then he asks the creature what his pronouns are. And this all happens in this episode. And I mean, I don't really care. There's things that you could put in a nuanced way in an episode, and there's different people in society and different things going on in the world. The level of shoving this propaganda all over the place is excessive.
Yes, and the story, again, first of all, it wasn't necessarily the kind of story you should have wrapped the 60th around anyway. But if you were able to miraculously extricate all of the propaganda, that just the skeletally the story itself, which was adapted from an old comic from the late 70s, an old Fourth Doctor comic by Pat Mills, John Wagner, I'm saying his name anyway, whether they say it was him or not, and Dave Gibbons, and it was called the Star Beast, and some of that would have worked in a good Doctor Who story because that was a good old comic, but every time you start to kind of get some enjoyment out of that, it is ripped from you with the, as you put it, the propaganda price. And that's a part of the shame of all this. But you don't even get to enjoy just David Tennant getting to meet Donna again and all that kind of stuff, because every single scene is dripping with this stuff to the point where, I mean, it is nauseating.
And
Absolutely.
one other thing, every character on the show has to say at some point in the episode that the more than meets the eye girl is so stunning and brave. I'm
And
paraphrasing.
beautiful. And
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's like somebody mentions the name, and they're, oh, she's so stunning and brave. They say use other terms, but that's the thing. And it feels so
Yep.
forced when your whole thing, every maybe minute or two, there's like an agenda that clearly somebody in a boardroom injected into there. It really takes you away from the fun and the escapism, which is something that this franchise really, really needed if it was going to save itself.
Yep, and there are 2 more of these to go. I mean, if they can top this one in that kind of
I don't think it's
that
possible.
level, I don't know if it's possible.
The most I've seen since The Last Jedi, I think. And
It will be topped. Watch.
Hey, look, I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm wow. I don't know. You might be right. It might be topped.
I was a bit of a
Or
sweet
bottom.
summer child on this one. I was hoping maybe it would be at least decent. I don't even dislike the new Doctor, the casting. Name
Ncuti
is
Gatwa?
escaping me at the. Yeah, I don't even
Ncuti
mind him.
Gatwa.
I think he's very charismatic, you know. But then, I mean, I could not have guessed that it would go this far. I mean, it. Like Davros can't be in a wheelchair because disabled people can only be good.
I saw the drinkers video
you know,
on that. Wow.
Yes.
It's just as bad as Dan Slott trying to reconcile that we need to sympathize with villains like Kingpin and Doc Ock because they're both fat. It's like, really? Really, guys, this is where we're at.
Yes.
But
I was out today and I saw a person in a wheelchair and I thought, oh my God, that person's going to kill me. They're evil. Because, that's what Russell T. Davies thinks. That's what having a character like Davros has been around since 1975. And it's not a wheelchair. It's a Dalek support unit because he's half Dalek. Idiot RTD. That's what he thinks. Well, he doesn't think at all. And he's just being an idiot.
And I actually have a question for Tom. I mean,
yes,
Disney, until now, it was kind of kept quiet how involved Disney were. But it seems like over time, it's been discovered that they, in exchange for their distribution, they were providing funding. And the question
that's
is,
my understanding. Yeah,
the question is if some of these heavy-handed messages maybe also have something to do with how they wanted to see the show.
I mean, considering
I think it was RTD also. So go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say go ahead, Clobby, after I'm done. But yeah, I mean, I have a very limited knowledge of Doctor Who and the surroundings in the background. I just know that on some level Disney is involved now. They don't own it straight out, but as you put it so poignantly before the show, when you pay somebody, you have you have a certain expectations out of that. In so many words as you put out there, but no, at this point, I think that the fact that they were already so woke and that they've even jumped that woke shark, probably.
Yeah.
I could imagine that. Go ahead, Clobby. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry about that. I was gonna say RTD was already prone to that, even if it hadn't been picked up by Disney. Incidentally, right now Doctor Who is on 4 services. BritBox has the original series, 26 seasons. Right now, all the other ones after that are still on Max, and then now, but that special is on D+. So I don't know if it's just going to be because when he starts the Bad Wolf Doctor Who with Ncuti Gatwa starting next month or whatever. That's going to be, he's calling it episode 1. So I don't know if it's going to be split into those 3 places after that, or will Disney eventually get it all? I don't know. But the BBC is just farming it out to this Bad Wolf company that RTD's now runs. It's his production company.
I have an idea. Clobby. I think that it's like Voltron. You have the BBC, Disney, and RTD unleashed together, forming like a Voltron of propaganda. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Sadly, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, and it's RTD is he's kind of just he's taken. There was a time, even though he was preachy before in his old run, but see, he was preachy. But other than some things as a Doctor Who fan, I didn't really care for story wise or narrative wise. He was able to make it a very entertaining show. It was really good. And even if you saw something that made you cringe a little bit, you go, but it's still a pretty good episode because David Tennant is terrific, and Matt Smith was with Moffat, but David Tennant was terrific, and Catherine Tate, and it was still a good show, which I, as a fan, a hardcore fan, had my issues with, but thought he did a pretty good job. But after that, when he was announced coming back, I'm like, well, first of all, Chibi's damaged. Unless someone's going to come on and erase the Chibi era, there's no hope for it anyway. And RTD's not going to do that. But if he was, then I'd probably be pretty happy right now. But he's already said he won't. So, yeah, and he's going to make it worse. I don't know if you could be worse than the Chibi era, but you could be as bad, and he's going to prove it.
Yeah. I think, and just to sum up my thoughts on this, the problem with him is, and I say this in my video, it's that in a way it's more annoying than Chibnall. Chibnall, people stopped watching because he didn't know what he was doing. He was out of his element, and he doesn't understand sci-fi or how to produce this show. This episode was competently produced with good acting, and it wasn't made poorly. It's just every minute, it's as if they stop for the propaganda and then continue. And that makes it even more frustrating somehow.
I agree with that, absolutely, because you're getting to see David Tennant, for God's sake. No matter what problem you go, man, I gotta watch David Tennant. He's such a beloved Doctor, and to see, especially the insane Price, when that absolute degradation of the character with that whole bit where, well, too bad you're not a woman anymore. Yeah, now you know nothing, and we know everything. Look at his face. You're like, oh, good Lord. I don't know. I mean, who knows? He's down with all this stuff. It's kind of tough to look at his face and think that he really 100% is. He's just putting up with it. I don't know. It's just sad to see.
He seems really excited to be in this role again. I think he really loves doing this. That's what happens a lot of times with these kind of revivals. I think some of the actors are really excited to get back into these roles, and then they're given a script and they're like, well, what can I do?
Yeah, I think that's fair enough to say. And he was happy to return, and that was good of him to be happy to return. And if they hadn't done this script, he would have been happy to do whatever, just a good story, I think. And again, they spend more time worried about their message and agenda than celebrating the 60th anniversary, because there's really nothing written into it that concentrates on that, because we have to concentrate on the message, of course.
Which kind of leads us into the Disney topic coming up here, but we got some super chats here because, really, that's really what Disney's, where they're at right now. But let's get to these, and then we'll shift into that. Unless there was anything more you guys had to say about Doctor Who before we do.
I'm good.
All right. CC, Price, Nick, anybody else? Nick, let's do a test of your audio now.
I think we're good now.
Oh yeah, you're good now.
People in the chat said it's better.
Sorry, I passed. I was dealing with
good,
other stuff, so I didn't hear you.
I'm a Doctor Who normie. I have nothing to say on this. So
sounds good. So let's get into these here. We got a 2-year anniversary. Gonzalo Bergali has been a member for 24 months. Thank you so much for that, Gonzalo Bergali. He also gifted 5 memberships. Thank you for that as well. That was very kind of you. The holiday giving season.
Yeah.
David March sends in a Canadian $5. Says, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I remember Capaldi returning into the Valeyard. Controversial, but a good way to end the show. So go ahead, Whovian.
The Valeyard, yes. And in Colin Baker's final episode called The Ultimate Foe, we find out that there's a future version of the Doctor self, an amalgamation between his 12th and final incarnation, which, of course, that was a little bit retconned, an evil version of himself. And that's, people always talk about the Valeyard. We always thought Capaldi should turn into the Valeyard. Sometimes the way he behaved himself, it almost looked like it. But yeah, that's what he's talking about.
All right. Then we got Truth, Hope, Love here with $4.99. He says, I'm curious now what the box office will be for Inside Out 2 and Deadpool 3. Embarrassing that Sandler movies did better. Well, Deadpool 3 I think might do okay. I don't know about Inside Out 2 though. What you guys think? Somebody
That's a
got anything?
cartoon, right? Inside Out.
That was
Yes.
Inside Out. That was I actually liked Inside Out. I thought it was really good. Now
Isn't,
with what's going on with it, obviously has absolutely zero of my interest for a sequel. So
Yeah,
it's
Inside
hard
Out
to
is
say
supposed
with
to
that
star
one.
more
If
than
I
what
had to
they
really
seem,
look
right?
at it objectively speaking, it's hard to gauge that one. In all honesty, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, it's gonna bomb. It might even do okay. If it does any good, it's because the goodwill of the first movie lingered over. That's just where I'm at with that. Even though I love that first one, but as far as Deadpool 3, I'm kind of with Tom. I think it's gonna have a good first weekend. I really do. I think it's gonna be a big suspense on how will that movie carry over into the infamous second weekend drop that we like to talk about so much, because will it be a bait and switch? I actually think it's going to be. I think Taylor Swift's character that they're not denying she's in, I think she's going to be the real star of the movie. So we'll see.
I think she might just be a cameo, but we'll see. Yeah. We have Snowdub in the house. It's snow.
Dub.
Let it
Hey.
snow. Let it
Hey.
snow. Let it snow.
CC Karaoke said he needed more snow, so here I am.
Yeah, here you are.
Send me your
Uh,
snow.
Yeah, I don't know if you're a Doctor Who fan, but we're in the midst of the Doctor Who discussion.
I am such a novice when it comes to Doctor Who. I've
Same
never
here,
watched
so
it.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel sorry for the fans, though. I do.
Yeah,
I feel your
same.
pain.
I feel bad for the Whovians.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I apologize if that's not what you guys call yourselves. I just called you that.
I
Richard
just
Waring
call myself
says,
a Who fan. So, yeah.
okay, there you go. That works too. Richard Waring, if I'm saying that right, or Waring, sorry if I'm saying it wrong one way or the other, sends in $4.99, says Heels versus Babyface knocked it out of the park with his How Ideology Tears Fandom Apart, or Tears a Fandom Apart, sorry, video today. I haven't seen that yet, but
He had a fantastic rant
Mm.
on his live stream.
That's
If
saying
you
a
can
lot
find it.
considering the rants he's had this
Yeah.
year. That's a high bar for himself.
It was very impassioned.
yeah. Gonzalo Bergali sends in 150 Uruguayan pesos. Is that how you say it? Right?
Uruguayan, your unit. I don't know.
I think it's pesos.
Uruguayan.
Unit.
I'm not 100%, but I apologize. Whatever. Tell me in the chat
Thank
if I'm
you.
wrong. Yes, but thank you just the same. I guess the Doctor, or Indoctrination Who is what I've been calling her now, or the show now. Doctor Who has seen the beginning of life on Earth to the destruction of it, has never seen when trans become a normal accepted thing. Great message to your own community. RTD. Yeah, that's true. It's
Yep.
just as dumb as having like this shit in Star Trek, right? Like that's kind of what it reminds me of, is when they just stopped the scene for that one character to go, my pronouns are this. And it's like, nobody fucking cares. Like, what the fuck? Oh, Jesus. Anyway, Mark's 47 is here, and he's been a member for 31 months. Wow. 13.
Actually, it's Mark
months.
S47.
Mark
which I
S47.
Yes, which I think that was clarified on Snowdubs.
That's probably why he made the S big now, because I've always been calling him Marks.
Yep. He corrected me and he put that capital S so I could call him out correctly now. So
I'll
Mark
try
S.
to remember that. Thank you. And thank you for the support, my friend. And with that, yeah, speaking of going downhill fast with this whole ideology bullshit, that takes us right to the Disney conversation. As if you've noticed on the thumbnail, they had a bit of an admission here where they had to say, well, we fucked up. They got to start building again, says Bob Iger. He spoke today at a New York employee town hall. Iger was joined on stage by Disney executives Josh D'Armo, Jimmy Pitaro, and Diana Walden and Alan Bergman. They must have wheeled Alan up there, obviously. Dude's 108. Don't know if you know that.
Wow.
Yeah, he was alive when Gone with the Wind was in theaters. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. He's fucking old. He's been around forever. Iger says in some circles, those jokes would land like a motherfucker. Like if Valiant and Crow were here right now, they'd be laughing their asses. Anyway, script doctor. Iger said his 3 priorities for the building in 2024 We're expanding theme parks, developing full ESPN streaming service, and improving studio business. So yeah, basically the short version of this is they had to admit that they got to fix their problems. Said when it comes to the creating a perception of the company, nothing is more powerful than movies. Iger said that perception among investors, perception among the audience, obviously consumers, and also perception among our own employees. So why are they suddenly worried about their perception? Iger also noted that a string of hit movies can make people at Disney giddy, not only because the company brand is elevated within the culture, but also because of the synergetic blah, 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 blah. It was a bunch of fucking like crosstalk. But at the end of the day, they had to admit we fucked up. We got to change some things. I'm trying to remember the other big quote from here. I don't know if you found it, 6, where he's basically, is it in this one or is it in the other one where he said, talked about we just don't flip the switch. We don't just move our net. No, that's not it. It's about basically
for something.
No, there was a certain quote I was looking for, and this was on the article I found before, but I can't find now for some reason. And that's why I was kind of hoping one of the.
You're the only one who knows what the quote is about.
I know, and I'm trying to remember how it goes, but basically, I can't find the fucking article it was in. Let's see if I can find it here.
Can you give
talks quality over quantity? That's not it. Let me see if it's in this story.
Is it about making too many films?
That's that part of it, but it was something else. There's something I meant here. Fixing a lot of things, but I feel like we've emerged a period. Blah blah blah. Assessing some of our performance recently. One of the reasons I believe it's fallen off. Okay, this might be it. In assessing some of our performance recently, one of the reasons I believe it's fallen off a bit is that we're making too much. Iger said, I think when it comes to creativity, quality is critical, of course, and quality in many ways can destroy quantity can destroy quality. Storytelling obviously is the core to what we do as a company. You could have fooled us, Bob. So yeah, there was more to this.
That was a few days ago that he said that, wasn't it?
There was still.
You're right, 6.
Yeah, it might have been.
I feel like I sent that to you in on the morning show. Sorry, folks. We should have had a better pre-show meeting.
It's been a long day. I'm fucking editing a video in the background and shit too at the same time. And I was hoping to have at least one of my Disney people here, but nobody fucking looks at their messages anymore, especially Valiant or anybody else for that matter. But
I'm aware of the story. It's been going around.
Yeah, but basically he admitted that they had to kind of cut back on some of the politics. Is basically what he was saying, but I can't find the original quote.
Okay, I have the quote here. Here's the quote from Iger. In assessing some of our performance recently, one of the reasons I believe it's fallen off a bit is that we were making too much.
Yeah, I just heard that.
I think when it comes to creativity, quality is critical, of course, and quantity in many ways can destroy quality. Storytelling obviously is the core of what we do as a company.
He's going for the Star Wars fatigue routine. We've seen this many times. He's doing the, we were making too many great things, and people didn't know what to do because there was so much great stuff. But I don't think that's. I mean, I don't even think he believes that.
I've been fishing around on the Facebook and looking at normies and what they say about this type of stuff. And there's an X factor here. A lot of these normies that subscribe to Disney Plus, they're just sitting back at home waiting for it to come on there. So a lot of them are not going to the theater because they know it's just going to be on Disney Plus in a few weeks or month or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's hurting their box office as well.
Okay, now I finally fucking found it. Of course, I had to go to a more conservative site to find it. That's why. Struggling Disney hints, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So this came out today. So this is the part I was talking about. He goes, a recent company filing with the Securities Exchange Commission included reference to risks and relating to malignant misalignment. Sorry, Jesus. let me make this. I got shit flapping at me here. I am having a bad day, guys. I'm sorry.
Do you want me to read it?
We're here for you, Tom. We're here for you.
I just need to make it bigger, like she said.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so In a recent company filing with Securities and Exchange Commissions included. Do you want to read it? Actually, that's up to you. I mean,
Six has a very sultry voice.
A recent company filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission included a reference to risks relating to misalignment with public and consumer tastes. Generally, our revenues and profitability are adversely impacted when our entertainment offerings and products, as well as our methods to make our offerings and products available to consumers, do not achieve sufficient consumer acceptance.
that's what I was talking about.
Disney went on to note that consumers' perceptions of our position on matters of public interest, including our efforts to achieve certain of our environmental and social goals, often differ widely and present risks to our reputation and brands.
That's the one I was looking for.
That's a lot of fancy talk for saying folks don't like us no more.
That's all. That's corporate gibberish.
The whole bit where they have to keep up with trends.
It's an admission. It's an admission
that's going to happen. And social goals.
Exactly. That there's the social and environmental messaging that they're putting in their fucking movies is turning off the customers. That's what they're admitting here. Finally.
So what are you saying, Bob? What are you saying, Bob? Go woke, go broke?
Yes, that is what Bob is saying. Or at least this filing is saying. I don't know if this is directly from Bob, but yeah, this was the actual
approved it.
Yes. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. And this is, as you said, a lot of fancy talk and 3 paragraphs just to fucking say we fucked up.
Yep.
I mean,
not only did we fucked up,
get
we
tired of it
bad.
after a while.
I feel like it's an empty gesture. He just says whatever he needs to at that moment, and I don't think he's the guy to turn it around. That's my opinion.
No, he's definitely not, Price, because his legacy, as we've now had enough years like throughout our time to like see what his game is and how he does business. His game is to just buy his way out of things. He doesn't hire creatives. He doesn't get involved with that stuff, obviously. He's just, okay, if I buy my way out of the situation, this will all solve itself. And it just shows, even money has a limit on what it can achieve too. And being powerful doesn't get him everything too. Now we're at a point where if you had said to us 3 years ago that Bob Iger is even in this position, we probably like, oh, I don't know that bad. We're like, oh, maybe it'll be not as good of a position, but this bad. No, but here we are. He's not invincible. Neither is the company. Yeah, he's not the guy to turn off. But the problem is, who's going to replace him? Because he won't step down. No one's trying to replace him. Who's going to replace him?
Well, and what Price said is correct. It's an empty gesture. Have we seen any signs of change? Have they announced that they're going to be making some differences? Just admitting that they've screwed up doesn't mean they're going to actually change anything.
You're right.
They need a slam dunk with Deadpool 3. That's for sure. If they don't hit it on that one. I don't think they're
going to get it. I think it's going to do well, but I don't think it's going to be a slam dunk.
Yeah,
I'm a video game
fan.
fan.
Sum it up at best is Deadpool 3 it'll do fine because the novelty of Deadpool and Wolverine together is going to drive in people no matter what. But it's going to be one of those things will keep people talking like the way Spider-Man did for 2 or 3 months when No Way Home hit. So it's going to be, can you maintain that interest? So they're going to need a film that's going to maintain that interest. I don't look at who the writing is involved. The fact that they just announced, was it today, that the Kang Dynasty is still coming out, and then they got the writer from Doctor Strange and the Mom involved. I don't know, man. I don't think they've learned anything, considering both of these things have come out simultaneously.
Yeah.
Like I'm a video game fan, all right? And there's a company I loved and still love, Squaresoft, now Square Enix. They were at $100 a share. And I'm not giving out stock advice here, but they were at $100 a share, late 90s. And they drove away all their talent because they had policies that didn't fit with their best talent, which left, and they created 2 separate offshoot companies. Like John Lasseter left Pixar, and he's now got all of his talent with him in a new company. And it's not like that company went, Squaresoft, they went down to $12 a share from 100.
Wow.
They completely crashed. They almost went completely under. You cannot replace the talent you lose. Even if Disney tomorrow morning decided to change their philosophy and make great entertainment again, They couldn't just hire all of the animators that they've lost, all of the great thinkers and the talent, and they couldn't do that in a day. It would take 10, 15, 20 years. It took Squaresoft 10, 15 years plus. You're talking about you've lost all the talent. You have to find it. You have to hire the people. They have to want to work for you. You have to repair your image and your reputation and convince people. You have to find leaders. You have to, it's like, I have this bad feeling we're in for it's going to take Disney decades to repair this, even if they change their philosophy right now. And
Well, it seems
for me,
like
that's
Disney is
my main concern.
It seems like Disney is just recycling the same talent. I mean, the director that they have, the guy who did, Nick, you were saying he did, what did he direct?
Doctor Strange and the Mom. He also
Yeah,
did
Doctor
the Loki
Strange.
shows.
Yeah,
and
he
he
did
got
Loki.
promoted. He got promoted.
Yeah,
I'm
so
like,
are they bringing
baloney.
these guys into the office, and are they, apologizing? Oh, I'll do better next time. Just give me another chance. And the enemy you know is better than the enemy you don't know. So they're thinking, well, we already know this guy. We've already worked with him. So let's just keep him, as opposed to taking a chance on somebody we've never worked with before. I mean, they obviously need to bring in new people, but maybe they're just scared to.
They don't want to because of who they're involved with. The rot in this company is a top to bottom thing. They're all committed to the message, and they're the type of people where a lot of them are, well, it's not my money, so I don't care if this thing sinks. So they can just go and destroy something else. Whereas the ones who are financially affected, it seems like their say is nowhere as significant as the one whose message matters more, but without the financial stake. That we have a very backwards game going on. It's very rigged on top of it. It's very rigged and set that way. So
there's recoil.
No one cares. No one really cares to change. That's the sad part. No one cares to change.
There's recoil on all this because if the Mandalorian they took directors from certain episodes of those and made the Obi-Wan show and the Boba Fett show, which both were not good. And so, and I had high hopes for both those shows, and from the seasons of Mandalorian 1 and 2, and you saw what we got. So that doesn't always work out for him either.
I wanted to highlight this comment from Daryl Brewer. Did he get promoted because he did good, or because someone quit, got fired? I think that they got rid of that King Dynasty guy because he was too associated with
upwards.
Yeah.
That's what happened. He failed upwards like all the other writers and directors of this current Phase 4, Phase 5 regime. It's, hey, you messed up this project. Now you get to move up the ranks and mess up something else. That's all that they're doing. And on top of it, let's also be more real here. It's not just that they have that failing upward state, but also these are the type of writers, these Daniel Cretons who does movies like Soy Chi. Let's be more real here. They are cheaper because they are the diversity positions, or they write diversity style. They also write on the cheap because these types of people sell for just the idea of, oh, hey, look, I'm working for Marvel, or hey, I'm working for Disney or Lucasfilm. The people who are diversity hires, they just like the idea of the public perception of legitimacy. And because they have that perception in mind, they are willing to work for cheap just to say, hey, look, my name's attached to it. It's just a means to an end to advance their personal lifestyles and agendas simultaneously. Once again, no one actually cares about these things. Like, I haven't watched a Star Wars show since Mando season 2, and watching what you guys say on here, I watch almost all your guys' videos, like, between you guys on the panel and the ones outside of it, and I'm just like, there's no reason to change that. There's no enthusiasm. There's no hype. There's everyone top to bottom is just no one talks about the stories. They don't lead with anything to get people hope. They all lead with antagonism. And when you lead with antagonism, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, I mean, that kind of was supposed to be part of the idea of what Wish was supposed to be. And here we have this headline from over a month ago. This was prior to when Wish came out. So Disney was already having their worst year ever. And Wish was just like an extra kick to the groin when they were already on the ground. Like, this is one of the worst things for this company. I mean, and there's people out there freaking the fuck out about this too. Like, what was it, Ethan Ralph or whoever it was that fucking tweeted out like, "What is wrong with you people celebrating the death of Disney?" It's like, it's their fault. This is not Disney. We want this thing, this fucking zombie corpse thing that they're trying to pretend is Disney, to die. We want it to go away and then spring up a phoenix, what was something more traditional. Yes. Anyway, go ahead, Cece.
No, I was saying this on Culture Show on Sunday, but it's not a 50-50 conflict anymore. It's just we're talking about 80+% of the population is tired of it, right?
Oh yeah,
it's yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I did a little wander through, Wally World, Walmart, this last weekend, Black Friday sales, whatever. And I just took a gander at this, big setup of all these Wish dolls, and none of them were missing. Like, I didn't see none of them in carts, nowhere. And it just goes to show that the kids are not connecting to this new material. They're not buying the product, and if they ain't buying the product, they ain't buying the movies, they ain't going to the movies, and that is their bread and butter, is the children. That's where Disney came from, was from kids. And so if they're excluding all the children out of their entertainment, that alone is going to kill it. It's going to destroy it. And so we're just pointing out the obvious at this point.
I just wanted to say that we lost Clobby. Clobby, if you can come back, jump back in. Otherwise, he's out of town, so his internet is not great. But just because something is woke doesn't mean the SJWs are going to like it. Just like if something isn't woke, doesn't mean that we are going to like it. The Marvels was not woke. The story just fucking sucked.
Yep. No, you're right, Sex. Yeah, as someone who, ashamed of myself, saw it, I will still say it really wasn't that at all. It really wasn't. I actually make the argument that the first movie was that actually was woke. The first movie was definitely that way. Second one wasn't. It was just
I think it was. I think it was originally, and that's why they kept filming it over and over again. And by the time
probably while it was chopped down to hour and 45, it probably actually was.
And that's why it didn't make any narrative sense, because they had to remove so much nonsense that at the end it just looked weird.
Well, didn't we hear, and I can't remember any of the specifics, but didn't we hear that some of the I think it was Script Doctor who was talking about it, the cut scenes were like woke as fuck. I don't know. Tom, do you remember Script talking about that?
I just remember seeing a lot of cats running around.
There's one thing that I noticed in the theater. There was a scene where Tessa Thompson arrives and she holds Captain Marvel's hand and kisses her on the cheek. And it's sort of, the scene is very quick. And I thought to myself, I feel like there was more to this scene than what we're seeing. And later, and I don't know if it's a rumor to believe in or not, but supposedly they were supposed to maybe be in a relationship, and that was removed. And that wouldn't surprise me if that was the case.
The thing with her and Tessa Thompson, I heard about that was removed. Which, once again, why was that even there to begin with? Like, once again, it's just another scene that didn't need to be there to begin with. It's one of those things where, like, even if you take out the stigma of the message, that scene had no point in being in there. It's just another thing that, quotation marks, happen off screen. Why do they keep adding these things that are off screen happenings? It makes you like, why are you telling us these things? Like, show us the things that are happening on screen. Instead, they keep telling us about things that happen. It's kind of like when the movies come after they come out in theaters. Like, oh, well, this happened too. This happened too. They're like, why'd you show us this in the movie? Instead, you're telling us this means that and these things happen. It has happened with these last several movies.
They've been doing it for a while. Rise of Skywalker had a girl-on-girl kiss scene that had no context. It came out of nowhere. And of course they cut it for the Chinese audience, but it's just like, they just don't learn their lesson. If you got some context, you build it up, maybe I can understand it, but just throwing it in there just for diversity points is ridiculous.
You know who I blame?
I think it's twofold.
Not even related for diversity purposes. I blame Zack Snyder. Now hear me out.
Wait, you blame him for what?
I blame Zack Snyder for when scenes happen that make no sense.
Okay.
I blame him because of the Martha scene.
Oh. Okay.
No one everyone, you talk to any Snyder bot or even Levelhead Snyder fan, and almost all of them have different reasons for why that scene is. And Zach was never able to himself ever have a straight answer on what the actual context of it was. He never admit. You could ask him, but you could ask him on Monday, and then next week he'll have a different answer. He didn't even know what he was doing with that scene, and it was just weird because he had some decent writers involved. I think it was one of the guys, Chris Terrio from Argo or The Town, involved, and yeah, I'm just like, and then here you are having to have this guy try to explain away what the scene is alongside his fans who are trying to explain it for years, and I feel like that kind of maybe low key set the precedent for having to have these people
maybe. I mean,
explain away.
I understood it right away. I got what it was about, and I could explain to anybody what it's about. I just feel like it was executed stupid. It was actually, it's one of those things where Script and I talk about where these writers think they're being clever, but they're really not.
And he wasn't.
Yeah, because what it is the setup should have been. See, the problem was set up way before the line, right? Because you have Superman going, "We got to talk," and then he proceeds to push Batman instead of fucking talking, right? And then and also to just kind of diffuse the situation, he could have just floated up in the air about 20 feet and just talked to Batman, right? Instead of having this no reason fight, and then all of a sudden he's got his fucking neck on his throat on his neck, and he's a save Martha. Well, of course, that whole thing is to go, for Bruce Wayne to go, wait a minute, save Martha. My mom's name's Martha. I got a mother. He's got a mother. Oh no, he actually grew up here. Oh shoot, maybe I shouldn't kill this guy. Because he's got a mother too, like me. We're the same. We're like peoples. Just because he's an alien, I've been seeing him as an alien this whole time. That's what they were fucking doing in just that little
dumb.
bit.
It's
dumb as fuck.
Because everyone has a mother. It's not an argument.
Yeah.
Like Darkseid
No,
has
I know, but the thing is it's that their mothers has the same name, so it was easy to go, save Martha, and that's where it clicks for him. It's again
humanizes him.
Why did he conveniently say
clever?
Why did he conveniently say Martha? Once again, it's not like he just magically is supposed to know like that they have like he could just said save my mom. Look, I'm about to die. If you hate my guts, okay, great. But at least
which is what he would have normally said. That's why the scene is stupid.
Well, me and D-Bud Martin, we have grandmothers named Martha, so we couldn't relate.
Well, I don't know why that's a bad scene, but for me, Pa Kent's death in Man of Steel.
That's I
think where the real trouble started with Snyder.
That one's just as bad. The fact I'd say even the scene before his death, where he's like, "Oh, am I supposed to say that?"
Yep. Well, maybe you should just let him die, kid.
Right.
I remember sitting in the theater and thinking, I'm a complete comic book normie when it comes to anything other than Star Wars. And so I genuinely thought that there was a good reason for that. But sitting in the theater, I was like, why the hell did he do that? Oh gosh, they're going to explain it. There's something in the backstory that's going to make this make sense. And that's the only thing that I remember about seeing that thing that movie in the theater, was thinking, what the hell?
I think it's twofold.
Remind me, this was another trope where writers had an idea that came off more villainous than heroic. And those writers were kind of wrote like villains too. Once again, another precedent that was set with this movie. I didn't even realize until now. The writers who write like their villains, but not like their heroes. What do you know? Zack Snyder's a villain confirmed.
I mean, on the one hand, you got bad movies that continue to push the agenda harder and harder. The final as you put it, Tom, and the latest Doctor Who episode is certainly an indication of that. It's like the Elon Musk meme where the line just keeps getting pushed further and further, and everybody is kind of standing exactly where they were, but the further the line gets pushed, the further away it gets, right? So it's not a partisan 50-50 issue anymore. The more extreme things get, the more of the population says, well, this kind of sucks. I'm tired of it. So it's not just like, liberals versus conservatives. It's not a political issue anymore. It's just like, it's a majority of the population issue, which is why we've seen 80 to 90% drop in the box office, because the vast majority of all reasonable thinking people have gotten to this point where it's like, okay, I'm tired of this. I just want some good entertainment again. I've heard it over and over and over again. It's like, being beaten over the head, right? So we're hitting this point where, a vast majority of the population is tired of it and wants to move on. And on the other hand, you have Generation Alpha, the kids, and Snowdub and Mexican Iron Man have been saying this, and I've been hearing it. And it's like, today's 10 to 12-year-old kids who will in a few years be 15, 16, 17-year-olds, right? It's the nature of the next generation to kind of look at their parents and say, what the heck are you doing? This is stupid. And to fight back. That's why I think comedy is going to come back.
Well, and there's another problem to that too. Go ahead.
Go for it. Well, I was just, I was just gonna say, the kids are looking at their parents and saying, I don't want to see this shit.
Right. And what we have
no
here,
it's like,
we're creating a new, the woke crowd is creating a new problem in that you have an entire generation now that is going to come out hating this crap, as you're saying, but a lot of them are going to be completely uneducated and they're not going to know how to process some of this shit. And they are going to be exactly what the woke are saying we all are, but it's because they created them, like the Joker, right? Like it's going to be this whole thing where you're going to have a whole generation that are going to be like, fuck this and fuck them and fuck those people and fuck that because I don't give a fuck anymore. And fuck you, I don't give a shit. And that's where these people are going to feel justified because they basically created an entire generation of istophobes.
It's like Inception, but with istophobes.
Yep. I can see it already. I mean, it's up to us, the parents, and Snow knows what I'm talking about as a parent, to try and steer our kids to know, like, no, people are people, you got to treat everybody the same and blah, 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 blah. Like, that's the thing. That's kind of the biggest fight in the whole woke thing is, equity versus equality, right? Like all we ever did in our generation growing up and the generation before us was to try and fight for equality among women, among all the races, among anybody who may be disabled or otherwise. That's what we all wanted to fight for, is everybody to have the equal opportunity and rights to try to do the best they could with what they had, right? Now it's all about lifting all these other people up just because of their skin color or what have you, or because they're trans or whatever. Fuck that. It's bullshit. And people are starting to see that. Like you said, 80% of the population, I think it was, CC, you said. You're probably about right. You're saying Snow. Go ahead.
Well, it's about, getting an opportunity, not getting entitlement. And that's the problem. And my son, he's, 13 now, and I watched him be completely demoralized. He went from being a raging Star Wars fan, a staunch, fan of Captain America. And within just a few, a few little shows on Disney Plus and a couple of bad movies, he's out. He's done. He's actually mad. He's upset that his favorite heroes like Luke Skywalker and Captain America were demoralized, and just it's sad to see. And it makes me sad, but there's nothing I can do because that's what Disney has provided for him as entertainment. So he's looked the other way, and now he doesn't want nothing to do with it. He doesn't want anything to do with the new Marvel movies. He doesn't care, and it's just these are the children that they're creating that are going to become the adults and are going to still have that
devoid of heroes. Snow. That's exactly kind of the intention. Once again, when we bring up the idea of the rise relating more to the, they're trying to defeat the idea of there are no heroes, there is no good or bad. It's the whole everyone is misunderstood or confused. That's the stuff that they're trying to put into everyone's head, and that's what they want your kid to think like. Go on, continue on.
Well, he's not gonna think like that because he grew up loving that stuff. Well, and he just loved it, growing up, and it feels like part of him has been taken away, and it's not being replaced with anything but anger towards it. And so, like I said, he's gonna grow up, become an adult, and he's still gonna have this disdain. So they got a lot of repairing to do if they want to fix this next generation coming up. Because it's not just him; it's his friends. Me and Mexican Iron Man have talked about it, and his son, same thing. So it's not just stationary type of thing. It's across the country, probably across the world. You got this whole next generation, especially of boys, who are just fed up with the BS and they're tired of the agenda. They are. They see it.
Well,
I
I hope
worry that
Kurt Russell or Charles Bronson rises from the ashes from it.
I worry that some of these boys actually don't know that any of this propaganda they're seeing is wrong, and then they're convinced that they're sort of weak and stupid, just like these kind of movies and shows tells them.
If it's in a home with a good father, they'll be told it's wrong. I'll put it that way, Price.
Yes.
That I can say with confidence. If there's a lack of a father, whether for good or bad reason, well, that's gonna be a little bit different because there's a lot of single parents who, and it's not all of them. I'm just saying a lot of them. They'll put on the TV because it keeps the kid quiet. And if there's not, parents there to oversee the things that they may catch on TV or on YouTube or on TikTok, whatever. Yeah, if the first thing that's being put in front of them is wokeness, and they're not told for years that it's actually bad, they're not going to think it's anything wrong because it's one of those. Well, I grew up with it. I was used to it. This is how I was brought up. So yeah,
there
you
are
have to
enough fathers
completely
that are,
invert a mindset in order to do it. So, but there is fathers out there. There is. They're obviously not. They don't have as much voice as some may like to think, but they're out there.
but there are also fathers that probably went along with this and said, "Oh, this is so great. This is what we've
Yeah,
always needed."
I'm sure there's beta
some.
males. Yeah.
There is. Yeah, yeah.
I
the
see
soy
them on
boys,
Twitter all
yeah.
the time.
We saw on the end. We called him Soy Chi. He got beat up by his sister. We know. Trust me.
Well, unlike us as kids, we didn't have the instantaneous social circles that this next generation has. They got their Discords and their Facebooks and everything. So as soon as they see something they don't like, boom, they're on Discord with their friends. They're sharing it. They're talking about it. So it's becoming faster as far as the message going around to this younger generation. And so, if you got a few good fathers out there, those boys from those good fathers are spreading the message to the other boys who may not be quite as aware of it. And so there is hope out there. There is. I see it personally just through my son and his friends. I see them talking about it. I see them getting mad. And when they go to the theater, they want to go see horror movies now. They want to, my son goes and pulls out a Rambo or a Terminator movie from the 80s. That's his go-to now for content. And it's just like, okay, there's hope. There's hope. And they can keep pumping this crap out as long as they want. And they're just going to keep losing money.
Well, that's why we need to have our physical media. Buy
I'm
up
gonna go
all
glad-
those Rambos, those Death Wishes. We got to buy them up and show them, say, hey, these were some of the action heroes we came up with before we had our awesome science fiction. We had our James Bonds, we had our Terminators, and this was killer too. We had that for the Western science, the John Waynes, the Clint Eastwoods. Yeah, we gotta show them the good stuff. And that's up to us dads to do our jobs to do that.
Amen.
I'm going to go glass half full here. It's been my observation, certainly within the music community, that there's a tremendous amount of people within the gay, trans community, what have you, who are also sick of with woke bullshit and feel that it's setting them back and doing them harm. And I do think that the next generation will also experience that side of things. They will make friends with people in these communities who are also sick of the shit, and it'll teach them that, to be open-minded and accepting, as I have been all my life, right? Until in the last few years forces me, and I'm sure a lot of other people, to have to pause. It shouldn't have to be that way, And I think once sanity returns a little bit, a lot of people will kind of level out and return to that. But also the next generation will also have those experiences, because it's kind of like it's not just pandering to a minority community, it's pandering to a minority of a minority community. I genuinely believe that there are like a tremendous number of people in these communities that are being pandered to are not really thrilled about the message, that's gonna make a difference in the long run. Maybe it's glass half full on my part.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Well, and I'll tell you right now, like, I recently talked to a couple of my friends who happen to be gay, and they had
is one of those friends your boyfriend, Tom?
Yes, it was culture.
Ooh. I should have known. Don't tell the culture boss.
And we got into some of this topic, and they flat out said to me, I am given ambassadorship by the gay and lesbian community to tell all these other fuckers to stay out of their movement. That's where they're at right now.
Yeah, I've been feeling it. And it
They
makes me
are
happy.
so sick and tired of the shit. They are tired of being of other people hijacking their movement. That's the other thing, right? Is some of these other groups in quotations that we can't say too much about. They are sick and tired of them using them as shields, basically, to try and push their agendas. Now, some of these things they have no problem with, but it's, when it gets to the kids, leave the kids alone kind of thing. And there's already groups out there that are against this shit. So, I mean, I'm not saying anything that other people haven't said already. So with that, speaking of things that other people are saying, why don't we do some super chats?
Yeah.
What do you say? Felix P sends in $5. This is a new one. I don't recognize this one. So welcome if you're somebody new and just finding us. As long as Iger and his goons are in there, Disney is not going to change. I give up on everything Disney. Well, I don't blame you, Felix, and that's true. They have to be removed. They have to systematically remove each and every one of them to fix this mess. And I'm sure you guys agree on it, because that's basically what you guys have been talking about for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, Bob Iger's not going to change. He's too old.
And even then, even if you removed Iger and all of the top people, it'll still take about 2 years until you see a difference.
And they need to start hiring for talent, not for diversity checkpoints. They got to cut that out.
Then they got to cut out the people who are involved in it too. That's another thing, because you could say, "Oh, we cut the program." Okay, but what about the people who instigated it? Because if you got them, they can still work on it more subtly or quietly. You gotta. Well, I'm gonna be using a Trump term here, but you gotta drain the swamp, and you actually gotta do it. Don't just say it. You gotta actually do it. And we don't need a right-wing version of media. We just need to be politically neutral. You can leave the other movie studios to want to make the occasional political movie, because there's been good ones over the years. I'm not going to pretend like there hasn't been, but let them do their thing. Disney needs to be a company for children first.
Yeah, Nick, there have been good movies. And going back to what you were saying about physical media, I just saw something on Twitter. I can't remember who put the article out, but they were talking about how they're racing to get the Oppenheimer 4Ks back in stock.
Oh, I saw that's been serving.
Six and I are on the same wavelength here. I was just going to bring this up. Because I was actually going to bounce off of what we said earlier. I said earlier about, they're trying to come up with 1,000,001 excuses. People are freaking out about this, how Disney's being treated and all that kind of stuff. And the one excuse that they came up with was the strike. And I said the only people who were on strike were the audience, basically. Because, I mean, why otherwise can you explain hits like Barbie and Oppenheimer, and then that was going to leave
Guardians
you too.
3, which was
and Guardians 3 at least made almost, but that's the thing. Disney did not make a movie this year that crossed $1 billion.
Quantumania bombed before all this stuff happened.
But yeah, they're running out of Oppenheimer Blu-rays, guys.
Good. That's good. But see, that's good. Now that motivates me to go buy it, because I was going to buy it.
Well, they're going to print more.
Now I know I need to.
They're going to print more because Bill Hunt posted this from the studio that basically, they know that they're running out of stock of Oppenheimer discs, but don't fret. A heads up. Universal's official statement. Here we go. We are happy so many customers are embracing Oppenheimer in 4K Ultra HD and understand that some retailers may be currently out of stock. Universal is working hard to replenish those retailers quickly so fans can watch the film at home in the best picture quality possible. Now that, my friends, is how you take care of your fans.
Yeah. And I saw that the Steelbook for Oppenheimer was going, I think people were reselling it $200.
I know. I'm so pissed I didn't grab that. That's one of the only Best Buy Steelbooks I haven't gotten in a while. And it was just like, I wasn't sure it was going to be a movie I like because of Nolan. And then I did go turn around and buy it after the fact here recently because he was talking about, physical media. I'm like, oh, fuck it. I'll buy his movie just because he's talking it up. Just the idea of physical media. So the only choices I had was the Walmart special edition version of it, the Icon edition or whatever, because otherwise the steelbooks were already sold out. And yeah, I noticed that too, that they were already being poached on eBay for $200-300. Or I've seen some pretty high, yeah.
See,
But
that's
yeah, thank you
awesome
for
to know
that.
physical media is selling like that. That is awesome to hear that. Granted, I know that's gotta be stressful for those who want to own it, but as a physical media fan, I love seeing that.
Oh no, yeah, you're fine. That's exactly what we need. Bucky Cat says with $1.99, Disney Town Hall, no employee Q&A allowed. Yeah.
Then why didn't he just record it and show a video?
Right. You might as well. Mikey is in the chat, but he's not on the show. He's been a member for 30 months. Says, how much money do I have to super chat to get one MEAD stream without a Zack Snyder reference? Just one night. Someday, any day. What does a recovering Snyder bro gotta do around here? LOL. Well, first of all, you got to be on the show.
How about if we promise Mikey, if he shows up, we won't mention Snyder?
There you go. That's a deal.
You have to be here, Mikey.
He literally just texted me while you guys were reading that, and he is on the road. In fact, if you want to see Mike, you can come over to my channel. He'll be on Taco Tuesday here in about 30 minutes. So I got him locked down, guys. So if you want to get your Mexican Iron Man fix, come on over and hang out.
Yeah, because I sent him the screener that we got for The Shift. So hopefully we'll have a review of that from a bunch of us here in the next couple days. That's the new movie from Angel Studios.
Yep, it looks good. Totally different than the Sound of Freedom. Completely different.
Yeah.
That's good. That's what it should be.
There might be a religious element in it, but if there is, they're not heavy-handing this shit. I have an idea of where it might come into play, but I have a feeling that what's his face, McDonough, or however you say his name, the white-haired dude with the piercing eyes or whatever you call it, the guy who plays bad guys at Hollywood Blacklisted. I have a minor feeling he might be playing the devil. That'd be the only thing, though, that would be remotely religious, probably. Do you see where I'm coming from the trailer?
Yeah, I know he's not playing a straight up good guy.
Yeah. So I wonder,
is he trying to teach a lesson to the main character, the human guy? I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if he's the devil, but
yeah, probably.
Camelbot Killer says, I saved my money not watching Zach's version. Bat Tom, thank you. There you go. Sorry, Mike. We didn't have to.
Unfortunately, I lost something worse than money. I lost the time. It was a fecal Einhorn moment where I needed a shower and burn off my clothes after watching the Snyder Cut.
Neil McDonough, that's the guy I was talking about. Yep. No, he's not supposed to be necessarily an anti-hero. Just the way that the trailer presents his character, I can imagine him.
Can we watch the trailer on here?
Yeah, I think we can. Fuck it. Let's do it.
Why not?
Is there an embargo? Do you have an embargo?
Embargo's up already. Yeah.
Do trailer number 2. Trailer number 2 was better than the first one.
Show me the number 2.
And that new movie coming from Daily Wire about the basketball team. That's
it's a comedy show, but yeah, regardless,
my
it does look good.
God, that looks hilarious.
What are
I'm
you talking about?
How good it looks. I thought it was gonna be cringy. I thought Matt Walsh was gonna bring it down, which don't get me wrong, I'm still not wild about that man. But I'm like, wow, even he comes off as funny as this.
It looks great. It looks so good.
What's the name of that movie? Curious 6 was curious.
Lady Ballers.
Lady Ballers.
Yeah,
trust me, it actually looks good.
It does.
The sequel is going to be Teabaggers.
I might.
It looks like a slam.
I have to do a live panel for it when it comes out. I'm thinking.
It looks like a slam dunk, pun intended.
Let's check this trailer out here since you asked.
Okay.
Where's my wife? I shit her. What do you want with me? This is not my world. I've never been to this lake before. Never walked its shores. But I will find my way back. And I will find my way back to my Molly. 5 years ago, I was left in this dark place. Taken from my wife. The people here have no hope.
You still looking for that wife of yours? You're clinging to scraps
Sean
of rumors.
Astin.
And then he arrived.
I actually kind of like the first trailer a little better, but yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's no way.
No, it's all good.
I shifted her. For every choice you make, there are countless other realities where you make a different choice. You're talking about parallel Earths. Imagine having the power to move people from one reality to the next, to shift them. What do you want with me? I can make you a king. Imagine everything you have ever wanted.
See what I mean? It comes off of like a devil's deal,
Yeah.
Okay, we go on a date and maybe we
like Faustian.
Hopefully.
He's not going to shift you back to your wife. It's a trick.
I choose you. That's the last choice I'm ever gonna make.
I would never leave you alone. I've seen a bunch of people like us out there looking for a little hope. There is nothing that I won't do to you.
It's kind of like a multiverse movie.
Yeah.
I was gonna
shoot
say
the
it
devil.
feels like it's more like a thing on
Dystopian.
addiction and maybe.
And then I didn't catch that
You can't
line.
just
In
shoot the devil.
You can't just shoot the devil. See?
There's so
Interesting.
much evil and inhumanity in this world. But there is also beauty and hope. And I will find my way back to her.
That's cool.
See, and I didn't even see this
I can dig
trailer.
that.
I saw the first one, but yeah, hopefully we'll have
Solid
our
message.
feelings on that soon. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get to it by tomorrow, but probably
When's it
Friday.
available? Is it available now?
It's out in theaters now, I think.
Okay.
But if you go through the Angel Studios stuff, you might be able to get a screener since you're a YouTube channel. I think I can probably get you a link or something, possibly.
I've got to use that YouTube privilege. I never thought I'd had those words attached to my name. YouTube privilege.
Yeah. Hey, we got
Oh,
Ian
looks like
Slater in the house.
Looks like
Go ahead.
it's coming out today.
Oh, so it opens today.
Oh,
Okay,
no,
so
wait,
Ian's.
sorry.
Tuesday flick.
Thursday it
Thursday,
opens.
I think.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Maybe we
Ian
should
Slater.
try to watch it tonight then, damn it. Ian Slater says Disney is doing fine. Failure is success. Yeah. And that's what they want to try to argue for a while there. But it's not working well for him. And good to see you, Ian. I haven't seen you in the chat in a while. Jason Webster sends in an Australian $2 and says Disney destroying beloved IP since 2015. Oh, well, I give him a little longer than that, but yeah, about that, roughly that. Jason Webster sends in an Australian $10. Says there's been numerous videos on YouTube that have explored the fact that South Korean films, international cinema in general, and independent filmmaking has surpassed Hollywood in terms of storytelling. Well, if somebody who's interested in that, there you go.
I've seen a lot
believe
of
that.
people, or maybe it was Jason Webster. I've seen a lot of people super chatting about the South Korean films.
I mean,
Yeah,
Squid
that's-
Games was
Squid
pretty
Game.
good.
Oh, he's a big
Right.
fan of it, yeah, but there's a few.
There was a zombie one too that came out that was pretty good. I can't think of the name of it right now, but yeah, there's been a lot of South Korean stuff. That Train to Busan wasn't bad. I mean, they've been doing pretty good over there.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Much better than North Korean films. Those are really boring.
Yeah, definitely.
Really boring. Jay sends in $10 and says, I have a gay friend that works for the Blizzard, or works for Blizzard, the company. He moved out of California to Texas half a decade ago because he saw the writing on the wall. He saw that the gay community was going to be used and told to submit. Yeah. Well, and gay men are already the new white man. That's the other thing I've been hearing a lot of them say.
Congratulations.
Yeah, they've.
You know how the white
Or,
man
I'm
was,
sorry.
in the whole woke business thing, because they're trying to exclude. Because even Bill Maher made the joke. He goes, "We got the gay pride parade. Where's all the fucking gay people?" He's like, it's just a bunch of trans and everything else. He's like, it's no gay men whatsoever. He goes, these used to be fun and entertaining. He's like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, if you're
He's like-
cis gay, they don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah, yes. They even have the term cis gay now, Six. You're right. Cis gay.
But really?
Jeez.
Oh,
Yes.
That's
You have,
crazy.
you have to transition to be one of the cool kids.
I can't keep up.
Some days there are gay dudes out there. who
Neither
just
can then
wanna
after
listen
they
to-
transition. But
No pun intended. They just want to listen to Judas Priest or like read Doctor Strange comics or enjoy Rambo too. They're not.
Oh,
all
and
these, like,
newsflash,
flamers like
we
they
all
try to
knew
make
Judas
them
Priest
be.
was gay as hell too, by the way.
I never knew that.
You didn't? The leather
No.
didn't give that away?
Bob,
I never listened to them.
Eat Me Alive.
You got another thing
Ram It
coming,
Down.
6.
I was into Wham. You got another thing coming. That's all I
Ram
know.
It Down.
Did you
Hey,
notice
Be
that
alive.
Wham was kind of
I was gonna say, didn't you notice with Wham? I mean, Jitterbug.
What?
Jitterbug.
Just blowing my mind. Right.
I'm not totally gay, but I'm gonna pretend anyway. You know. Yeah, right. We all knew George Michael was gay as hell, but we didn't want to
Choose
admit
Life
it.
T-shirt, and my dad wouldn't let me wear it out of the house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he never told me why, but I think it was because he thought it was like an abortion.
Oh,
Can I say that word?
Yeah, we're all right.
Sorry,
We're late enough
I'm
in the
sorry.
show. Now let me check, but I think we're all right still. I barely got it monetized tonight, so we probably didn't make anything anyway. Because I did it after we started.
Now
So
I feel like I have to send you a super.
No, we're good. We're still green, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, we're green, which is
I'm
rare.
making my
I'll
mission
send you a
to
gay
see how
sticker.
quick can we get demonetized tonight on Toxic Tuesday.
Right.
We've been like, for some reason my last show got remonetized.
Is this the last Bond one? Is this the last Bond one, or
second to last? Yeah, and then
right.
we'll dive into a few movies that I know one that you recommended a while back. We're gonna do so. Yeah, it's gonna be great. Yeah, we're gonna do tonight For Your Eyes Only, and then we're going back to some normalcy.
For your eyes only.
Me and Mexican Iron Man need to skip a Taco Tuesday and come join you one of these nights, Nick. We've been talking about that for a while, and
dude.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm
We
ready.
need to do one of the
happen,
Muppet
man.
movies at one of these points.
Let's do it.
Just
like the
pick a
first
day,
Muppet
man.
movie. Would be
Let's
amazing,
make it happen. Seriously.
I mean, that's
like,
a
there's
bros
so many
going
we have
out
yet to
on
do.
the road. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all about it.
Panel
Come
would be
at
humongous.
fork in the road.
I'll run it past Mike again tonight and say, hey, we need to skip a Taco Tuesday and go hang out with Nick Weiser here soon.
Seriously, you dudes are welcome to come.
Well, I'm gonna come.
Cider Hype sends in $2 and says hashtag let it happen. Ooh.
Oh, here
I don't know
let
what.
it happen.
6 sent us a super sticker for $20. Wow, it's a super gay character bouncing their heart-shaped ponytail with stars in their eyes, according to her.
Yeah,
I believe it.
I just copy and pasted it, so that's
I'm sure
what
you
it
did.
was.
John Stolkop is here and sends in $2 and says the shift plays tomorrow. I got my tickets. Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, we really should try to see that tonight then, I guess.
Yeah.
Camelbot Killer sends in 5 and says Disney Iger thinks true. Loyal fans of Sadie, you can wait a minute. I just let you out.
That's some serious sass.
She's sassing. You just take your sassy fraz over there for right now. Yep. No, you can wait a minute.
Seriously.
Typical woman. Jesus.
Yeah.
Gotta have the
What
last
does
word.
that mean? I totally know what it means, and you're right.
She's still going. She's like, I'm not done yet. And I mean, you get up now.
My
right,
female
this.
Doberman's very boisterous as well. So yeah, I think it's part of the gene there. Yeah.
I always preferred. I've only had one male dog. I prefer female dogs because they will flip you off and come back for more.
And they're more protective, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, my male dog, he was kind of a wimp. He was my therapy dog though, so. Okay, so Camelbot Killer says for $5, Disney Iger thinks true loyal fans of movies are like Hollywood. After a month, they'll forget. Shows their intelligence. Poop. What is that? What's that next to the poop emoji?
That's a face. Poop face? I'm not sure.
Poop face, Disney won't change.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not. Every once in a while I get this hopeful feeling that they'll show a trailer like with what's the Agatha the WandaVision.
Agatha Harkness.
I want to love that so much, but it's probably going to be terrible. But I loved WandaVision, so that was a nice surprise. But I'm probably going to be disappointed by the
It's the dark hole.
Yeah.
Shithead. That's what it is. Yeah. Shithead.
Oh, shithead.
Sadie did not want to go outside. She wanted her supper early.
Oh.
Do you hear her mawing down in the back? She must be hungry.
I can hear her growling every now and then. Why don't you give her
a baby carrot?
That's her just going on her food.
Keep some baby carrots in the fridge.
What was that?
Echo, the show Echo. I'm already waiting for that one.
Is that February it comes out?
That
Oh,
looks
I
not
thought I
bad.
was hoping January. I really feel like watching it and
Might be
doing reviews.
January.
Oh man,
Then I
that
didn't
one.
hear what Six said.
Echo's
that
going to
one-
be like a 90s shock jock trying to save their career.
Oh.
Echo hit all the diversity check marks, man.
Yeah, they did.
Wow.
Hit every branch on the way down.
Are they still dropping it all in one day?
That's my
I
understanding.
think
Yes.
so, yeah.
Ugh.
How many episodes? Is it 6?
I think now it is. Yeah.
Six or
I think it was originally 8, and then they cut it down to 6 or
Oh,
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I kind of wish they did it week by week.
Yeah, but I think they were
That's exactly why they didn't do it week by week.
Yeah. Because they didn't want us talking about it for weeks. Yep.
Imagine every week there'll be like the usual reviews and all this kind of stuff about it. And if it's not good, it's just better to just dump it all at once.
Yeah.
Take out the trash at once. Yep.
Yeah, because they know, and this is one of the things we complain about shows when we like them, like One Piece and Cobra Kai, for instance, recently. We should still be talking about One Piece. We should just be getting to the end of One Piece right now.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with this. And this is them screwing themselves on any kind of possibility of being bigger than they are. And this is why I think Cobra Kai, if it could have gained a bigger audience had they just done it week by week, because we would be talking about it for weeks on end instead of just once and dropped and done.
Yeah.
And I've just recently been seeing One Piece merch showing up everywhere. Like for the longest time, I didn't see nothing.
And that would have been perfect had they been putting it out week by week. Snow,
Right.
see, that would make more sense.
Yep.
Well, what's good out now that you guys are watching?
I'm about to get started on Godzilla, but I just haven't got around to it yet. But I know that's supposed to be fairly good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I watched Squid Games The Challenge.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't really got anything else immediate on my list other than The Shift right now and Godzilla the movie tomorrow.
I really enjoyed the Warrior series. I know that was a while ago, but I'm looking forward to the next season of that. It was inspired by
series.
It was inspired by Bruce Lee. It's called The Warrior.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that show, and really looking forward to the next season of it.
Watched part of the first episode.
It's good. Like it took me a minute to kind of get into it.
Is it like it's a Chinese show and it's like?
Yeah, it's based on 1800 late 1800s San Francisco, Chinatown type of thing, and
it's kind of
criminal underground and the triad gangs and everything. Just fighting amongst each other, but. It's fun stuff, and there's a character in there that is a lot like Bruce Lee himself, and busts out the nunchucks and all that. And it's
kind of based on the Chinese Connection or something like that, or what?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it's some great choreography.
Kind of one of those kind of stories.
Yeah, great choreography, great fighting scenes. Just a well done show, and it does have its couple of woke moments here of a couple of girls making out, whatever, but nothing worse than Game of Thrones, that you've seen in Game of Thrones. So, and at least they show the other side of it too, the straight side, I should say, and so yeah, I mean, but there's enough of a well done fighting kung fu feel to it. So if you're into the kung fu fighting type of movies, the show is definitely right up your alley.
Weird. Okay, I just saw what Six said. That is weird.
Yeah, there was a comment in chat. I'm gonna go ahead and read it. Mellow Mutt says, "I'm a little behind, but I'm a gay dude, and I'm horrified by quote unquote the message. Thank you for saying that, because a lot of people just automatically assume all the homos are on board with this shit."
That's
we couldn't
weird
bring it
that
up on
didn't go
screen
through.
because
Is that the only one in that? Because I don't see him on there at all. Yeah.
No, it's the only one I've noticed.
Weird. I think it's because of what he said. I think Google dabbed it.
Strange.
Stupid. Yeah, but if it was Google, it wouldn't show up on the YouTube side. StreamYard wouldn't care because they're not owned by Google.
I don't think it's getting through. Because as far as my understanding, and I'm a very lackluster techie, is that all this thing here that we bring up the stuff on screen here like this is actually them using the YouTube channels. It's like feeding off of their feed of it. So they get whatever they broadcast out. But you're right, because normally even times when things that the mods have to approve, they do show up on StreamYard.
Yeah.
So you are right about that. So I don't know.
And
Culture,
even
one of
after
those guys might
somebody
understand
deletes
it
a
more.
comment, it still shows up on the
Yeah.
StreamYard side.
That is fucking weird. That is fucking weird. I hope you
Somebody
got a
typed the
screenshot.
C
of it.
word in chat. and I'll see if I can
Yeah, go
highlight it
for
on
it.
screen.
You get a one-time pass. No. Actually, I don't know if that's one of the words. I only have like 1 or 2 words blocked, I think, and that's it.
You have
Yeah.
Tom. I don't mod for any channel that has so many comments held for review as your channel.
Well, I think that's not me. I think that's YouTube.
No, that's you.
Yeah.
That's
No.
you,
I
because
only have
nothing
2
gets
words.
held- Nothing gets held for
You
review
can
on the main
guess the
channel.
2 to 3 words I have fucking put. I only have 2 or 3 words put as like,
Don't say them, because then chat will start guessing them. And then
No, I know. Well, yeah, and none of them are words that individual said.
Yeah.
And there are only 2 that I know for sure, and the other one might be that one, but I don't think so.
I am laughing at your chat right now because they are going off on my nunchucks comment. Hey, I was trained in martial arts. I'm pretty badass with a pair of nunchucks. So
I've
just
seen a
saying.
video.
I'd have a
of
chuck
him
off
with
with you.
Have you seen that, Six?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. I think it's in
If I
my
wasn't so
shorts.
fat, I'd make a video.
Yeah, you should. Swing them chucks, Tom. Swing them.
I can chuck.
Chuck off.
Yeah,
Michelangelo,
chuck
of
you.
course.
Look
Yeah,
at this
chuck
one.
this.
Me, Bud Martin, I had to allow a comment because it had the word Christian in it.
Weird.
Yeah, folks.
That's what I'm
chat,
saying.
you can only see, if you're a mod, you can only see it. But a lot of comments, they're held for review, and the mods have the option to either show the comment or hide the comment.
To be honest,
the everyday chatter or person in chat is not going to see it unless a mod approves that comment. So that's what we're talking about when we say a comment is held for review.
Yeah,
So, like,
I know what you're saying.
If you post the eggplant emoji, it'll be held for review.
And I know why mine's excessive is because I'll tell you why I think that it's excessive is because from
Your
the very
grandmother set your
start.
parameters.
No, I think my channel has always been, because it's constantly everything's under review. Like for the longest time, I had to send everything into review. It was always yellow marked and everything like that. And there's tons of times where videos wouldn't get approved when I'm like, why? Like, I don't understand. We're not talking about anything, and there's nothing in this that's like, even it's like it's usually some of the most mundane shit too. And it's like, I don't understand it. So from day one, because even then, back then, we did some tests and we could not figure it out because we basically just read Mary Had a Little Lamb and just put that audio underneath a bunch of different images and different titles and uploaded it like 17 different ways to test shit. And we could not figure out a pattern at all. Like ones would get demonetized and all that kind of shit. And it was like, what the fuck is going on? We're trying to figure out the pattern. We couldn't figure it out.
Okay, so
that's another problem I've had.
Duckworth posted one eggplant emoji, and we can highlight that one. Canadian Spider-Man posted 5 eggplant emojis, and we can't even see that on the stream side.
Yeah, we had to approve those messages.
Yeah.
No consistency.
It's just a conspiracy. Get out your tinfoil hats, boys. We're going to war.
Deer sends in $5 and says Curly Boy Chuck on YouTube channel is about pointing out woke bullshit. Does he do nunchucks too? Is a name like that?
I hope so.
Yeah. You know what? I watched 65 with Adam Driver last night or this morning or something.
What'd you think?
All I thought about was Nunchuckosaurus.
Awesome.
Nice.
I'm permeating the culture.
You need to write that.
I actually liked 65 more than I thought I was going to. I was prepared to hate it.
I liked it way less.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but I was like, oh, it wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be.
I thought I was going to love it, and I didn't.
But
I always think I'm going to love stuff. Hi, Polly.
By the way,
it's true. You always go in with
is the new Godzilla in Japanese?
I think so, yeah, with the subtitles.
Oh.
So if you don't know how to read, you're fucked.
Yeah, we're fucked. We got to read.
No, I'll be okay. I'll be okay.
I love the O, though. See, I kind of get where I don't know if this is why you said that, but my thing is like, I don't mind like Godzilla movies and Kung Fu movies being dubbed because that's the way I grew up watching them.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. It's easier for my eyes. Yeah.
#me
it's
too.
not even that. It's just part of the charm, right? It's like you got to have those weird it's just part of it. To me, even now I have like that big, Criterion collection set. I've got all the Godzilla movies on Blu-ray. I always usually flip it over to the English audio. But if I'm watching any other foreign film, I generally would not. Right?
Yeah, on Netflix,
Kung Fu and Godzilla, you may as well just watch the overdubs.
I love it. It's just part of the charm. But you were saying about Troll, the
Troll
Norwegian film,
on,
right?
Netflix is Norwegian, and I watched that. I'm dumb, just flat out dumb when it comes to electronics. I didn't know that there was an option to listen to it in English, and I don't even know how I discovered it. But I watched that movie so many times, but I watched it once with the English version, and the rest of the time I watched it in Norwegian with the subtitles.
Yeah.
That movie is so good. If you have Netflix, watch Troll.
Well, one that I noticed that on, because I saw Passion of the Christ like 2 years ago, was it, or a year ago? I think it was 2 years ago. So I remember talking about it on one of the streams because I'd never seen it before, and I just like, oh fuck it, I'm gonna watch it.
It's like a snuff film, man. Wow.
Well, I watched The Last Temptation of Christ finally for the first time because I love Scorsese, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna watch the counter to this or whatever you want to call it, So I watched that and I liked it a lot. I loved it actually, and I'm like, I found out after the fact that there's an English dubbed version of it. I'm like, okay, weird, and I saw some clips of it, and I'm like, wow, I can't do this. This is too weird. It just doesn't feel right. Like if I had to watch the English version of the Passion of the Christ first, I mean, I never actually watched the whole thing in English, but I mean, if I had just, you know what I mean? I would not have thought it was so good. I guarantee you that. So that's a good example of where you have to sometimes see a movie in its original language. But when it comes to Godzilla and Kung Fu movies, I don't think they have to be. It's just a me thing. Anyway, we went way too long on that.
Yeah.
But Dearest, thank you for the $5, and we'll check out Curly Boy Chuck. Thank you for that. Tiger Valley 62 sends in 35 South African rands and says, as a fan of One Piece source, I worry about the longevity growth of the Netflix show, considering it's easily going to be their most expensive show. Well, I think that's kind of part of the reason they're also compressing some of it, Tiger Valley, maybe to the dismay of some of the, One Piece source fans, as you just put it. Because I think they know they kind of got a finite thing on this. They're not going to be able to do the live action show nearly as long as the animated or the manga. So they're probably going to do their best that they can to compress all the major story lines and beats and characters and stuff into this series. And I imagine it'll go 5-6 seasons probably, unless it falls off a cliff at some point. But I mean, just the fact that like Cobra Kai, Stranger Things, these kind of shows have managed to squeeze out 5, 6, 7 seasons now. I think One Piece will be okay. It's Netflix's biggest show, so I don't think they're going to have a problem with it for a while. But yeah, I think that's about it. That was pretty much all I had, other than the Oppenheimer thing, which we managed to roll into the other stuff. So, I mean, that was kind of just a fun story. But yeah, so unless there's anything else anybody wanted to bring up quick before we head out.
I got nothing.
Nobody?
Zilch.
Well, I want to thank Snow and Price for hopping in here. It's always fun to see you guys. And Clobby for hopping in for a little bit, even though he's on the road. So Price, anything you want to plug on your way out? I'm sure people should check out your Doctor Who video.
Yeah, I was going to say that I think Cece was saying, or some of you were saying that you don't really have the patience to sit and watch the whole episode. Well, in my video, I really show the different scenes. And if you don't watch the episode and watch my video, it's as if you watch the episode, but just in much less time.
There you go.
2x.
Yeah, then you can watch it on 1.5 or 2x. Yeah. So even faster.
I always
Even
watch
faster.
videos on a different speed.
Some people I can, some people I can't. Now, like Price, nothing against you, man. You just got one of those cool laid back voices to where I could listen to your stuff on like 1.25 or whatever speed. And it doesn't even really compute that you're being sped up. Other people, though, like myself, there's no way I could listen to myself in 1.25 speed. I talk too fucking fast. So, and I stutter and shit too much.
I got to pick up the pace then. I got to start speaking.
No, there's
quickly.
nothing wrong with that, man.
That'd be weird, Tom, if you listen to yourself too.
Well, here's a great example, not to be don't even be remotely embarrassed or anything like that, Price, because Andre, and he's even said this publicly too, like I have to speed him up in the videos because of the way he reads. Like, I mean, if you ever notice that, yeah, if you watch the videos, Andre's pacing in the videos is much quicker than when he actually talks, because he talks so slow and precise that if you waited for him to finish each sentence, it would be next week.
I could easily wait. He's so dramatic. He's so dramatic, though. I could easily wait.
I know. I could listen to him forever. That's why I've been, a great thing is like I'm not sick of his voice yet. And, he's not somebody, he's somebody at least you can listen to, right? Yeah.
Every
told me that a long
time I
time ago.
see the title for a new Midnight's Edge video, and I literally do get your notifications, I always hear Andre's voice read the title as I.
My favorite Andre, and this is something I've never told anybody, even him. My favorite Andre thing that he does is when he's sitting in the back typing like, "We need to speed up. We need to finish. I need to get this done." And then all of a sudden, one of you guys out there will ask him something like about Conan.
Oh my
And then
god!
we're sitting here for
He
20
just did
fucking
that.
minutes because Andre, you piqued his interest and he doesn't, everything else just fades away. It's like, "Oh, Conan. Well, let me tell you." It's like, "Oh, I had to go do a life or death situation. Fuck that. I'm talking Conan." It's like,
He always sounds like it's an important thing to say.
It is.
I gotta
Well,
make
and he-
sure I bring up my.
And I
Conan
love him
moments
for
very
it.
wisely.
And I sometimes know how to do that to him too. Like I don't do it very often, but once in a great while, if I know we're like he's getting a little too antsy, I will poke him with something that I know is going to send him off on a little venture sometimes. So then he can't bitch at us too much when we go on a few. Because that's really what it boils down to, is when like one of us are going on a rambly little, rant or whatever. That's when he'll go, "We need to speed it up. We need to move on. Not so much time
And the
on
more,
this
the
topic."
more the more boring the topic is, the more likely I am to start looking for more news and posting more links in the private chat. Like, come on, you guys, let's
Once
change
in a
this
while, that's
subject.
where you
This
catch
is
him and he'll go,
boring.
"Oh, we have breaking news."
I'm like
That's when he
looking
gets
on
real excited.
Facebook and MySpace trying to find something.
See,
to
here's the
change
thing: is
the
I
subject.
speak Andre. Okay, like you guys, some of you probably have figured it out by now if you listen to him long enough. But like he, as you joke all the time, Six, you do too, about him being so unemotional or not having a heart or being a cyborg, whatever.
Yeah.
All kinds of jokes always like that. Like I can actually tell in the slight variations of his voice what his mood is. Like a dog's growl, like you can tell if it's playful. Your dog, right? If it's playful growl or if it's a mean growl or if it's a curious growl, like the difference. But like with Andre, it's the same thing with Andre and his voice, like just little inflections of, oh, like I know when he's getting excited about something or when he's not so excited about something, or he's more angry about something. I know his attitude just simply because of the tone of his voice. Even when he's doing a video, like I can tell when he's doing the audio recording, and you can tell like he's probably done the line 6 times and he's getting aggravated because I can just hear that slight shift in his voice. Nobody else would notice it, right?
Yeah.
Nobody else would, just me.
I'm gonna be
because I can
listening
tell
for this now.
Oh yeah, if you tell slightly, because like he does the lines and he'll do them, and you can tell sometimes if he stumbles over something. And sometimes he'll even leave the flubs in on accident. So those are fucking hilarious. But I think he cuts them out on purpose so I won't put them on.
Well, in the words of the great Andre, and with that, I need to tuck and roll and go get ready.
All right.
for
Well, thank
Taco
you, Snow.
Tuesday.
And I see CC also disconnected. At least his device is disconnected. It's still
Probably lost
technically
his
there. But
signal.
I can't leave Mexican
right.
Iron Man
So check out
waiting
Snow
for
Dub.
us.
Yeah, we were.
I'll never hear the end of it.
I got into a Tom rant.
All good. But much love, guys.
Oh,
Thanks for
Mikey, I
having me on.
love him. And
I
miss him.
will. I'll let him know. Later, guys.
Take care,
Bye,
brother.
Snow.
Go over to Snow's channel to check out Mikey and Snow talking a little bit. And we also have Nick and CC's back here too. Nick's got a show
Hello.
tonight. He's talking some Bond, right?
James Bond.
Yes, sir. Moonraker tonight. I'm very excited about it. So it's gonna be fun. It's
Moonraker.
in under a half hour, actually. So if you're somehow one of the ones who is still somehow, shame on you, but I forgive you for not watching Toxic Tuesday yet. Tonight is a great time to start. And for our loyal and usual suspects, I can't wait to see you all in less than a half hour and hang out, because this is gonna be a fun one to talk about tonight. So yeah, I do gotta get ready for it. Tom, thanks for having me. Great discussion. And for the Doctor Who fans out there in the chat on the panel, all I can say is I'm sorry, but I do feel your pain. I've been there and I know what it's like. Thanks for being here, chat. Great show. Good hanging with you, Clobby, Snow, Price, Six, and CC. Yeah, to everyone else, have a great, fantastic night, morning, wherever, whenever you are. Thank you.
Bye, Nick. Nick's show's always great. Toxic Tuesday.
Oh
even if
shit! I
haven't
wonder if
seen the
Andre
movie.
was listening.
What?
Because he's still awake. I thought he was sleeping.
Did he message you and said You
Nothing yet.
wrapped up 20 minutes ago?
No, but
Like when you read a message from him, do you read it in his voice?
yes. Especially when he does certain terms, yes. Well, it's the same thing with like Mikey too, though, and you and I hear everybody's texting their own voices.
Oh, I wouldn't
like
sweat
certain
it.
inflections.
Well intentioned.
Oh yeah. But anyhow, yeah, where were we? CC, what do you got going on?
Moonraker's a fantastic movie. Maybe that's an unpopular take, but I love it. So Nick Weiser's on to something for tonight. Otherwise, I got music television on Thursday and karaoke on Friday.
Yeah.
So CTV.
Yeah, CCTV.
Pretty much.
CCTV. It works.
Yeah, I tried that one, but some network across the sea has that one taken.
Come up with something to add to it. CCTV music television or something like that, or music.
Squared.
CCTV music, something like that, maybe. Anyway, Camelback Killer sends in $2. Reminder: Monty Python and the Holy Grail, Sunday, December 3rd. I'm gonna have to look into that. I might check that out. I don't know. Not 100% sure. Might. I like Holy Grail, but it's like my least favorite. I know it's sacrilege. It's my least favorite of the Monty Python movies.
You don't have time on Sundays.
I don't. That's the other problem. But it might even be below. And now for something completely different, or whatever it's called, the one where they actually just redo all the skits from the show as a movie. But no, I like my favorite one is Life of Brian.
Life of Brian, yeah.
And then my second favorite one is A Meaning of Life. I know most people don't like that one as much. Go ahead, Bryce.
I've only seen all of those movies maybe once, and that's kind of a shame. I feel like I remember the general vibe of them, but all those kind of quotable jokes I don't even remember.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll see. Maybe. I doubt it, but yeah. I was thinking like closed circuit television, not Chinese news. If that's what that's.
And we're canceled because you said.
And we're canceled. Yeah. 6. Anything going on that you want to plug?
In 15 hours and 10-ish minutes, Midnight's Edge in the morning.
All right. Maybe we'll talk about the shift.
Yeah, the shift.
All right. In fact, I'm going to remind Andre to try and watch it too. All right. Take care of yourselves and each other. Check out Price's channel. Check out all these other channels. Thanks for coming in, Price. Clutch tonight. We appreciate it. Give us all your info. Check out his video on Doctor Who if you're a fan or not. It sounds like you can get into the videos. So check it out. And also check out our sponsor. We have a sponsor.
Friends, if you're looking for real old school laughs, you're in for a treat because we've got them right here. Flip City Magazine. Remember Mad Magazine? Then it went woke. Wow. Don't worry. Flip City has no chance of going woke. That's right. 4 times a year, you'll get an actual printed magazine full of jokes, stories, comics, and more, all about today's pop culture, entertainment, and woke politics. Flip City takes terrible entertainment trends we love to hate with hilarious parodies of Lord of the Rings, Stranger Things, The Walking Dead, Star Trek, Hunters, and more. Trust me when I say there is nothing else like Flip City on the market. So subscribe today. It will be delivered in print, or you can even get it digitally if you're one of those wacky Zoomers. Either way, follow our link and sign up today, and if you put in midnight, you get an extra 10% off. Check out Flip City Magazine today.
Indeed. In fact, buy it for your lefty buddies. Buy a bunch of them. That'll come to, it's the gift that keeps on giving. You'll piss them off over and over again all throughout the year by sending them this. See?
I like it digitally.
Don't do it digitally. Actually have it sent to them. But yeah, digitally is awesome too. But like, get it for yourself, of course. But then, you know, if you got that family member that pisses you off every fucking Thanksgiving, this is the gift to give them. Comes 4 times a year. And it's full of stuff that's just going to do nothing but enrage them.
Yeah. Maybe they'll get so mad they'll have a heart attack, and then you'll inherit their house or something.
Well, that or I was going to say, yeah, we're still live
anymore, right?
Yeah, we are. We're totally live. In Minecraft 6, man.
Okay. I can get it from my brother-in-law. He'll enjoy it, though.
This is what I'm talking about. Well, I was going to say, well, if somebody will enjoy it, that's even better. But if it's like that relative you want them to leave you the fuck alone, like, this is the perfect gift to give them. Because eventually they'll go, I'm not talking to them no more. But anyway, yeah, no, it's a great magazine. I've checked it out before. A lot of fun stuff in there. It's very reminiscent of the old Cracked and Mad magazine stuff we had as kids. Yeah, check it out, guys. I think it's 4 times a year they show up, and use the code and you get a discount. So check it out. Thanks so much, guys. Take care of yourselves and each other. See you.